Hi, this video will look at Word and setting up templates in Word for future documents. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to font. All of my documents that I create in Word are based on the standard template, and in here I'm going to choose my default font, and that's Calibri. So find Calibri here. And this default font is regular style and size 11. You can set that as default, and it's going to ask me if I want default for this document or for all documents. So I'm going to click here, press OK. Then I'm going to paragraph. The spacing I have for all documents is 1.15, and that sets up a default after spacing at 6 point. So it's going to be aligned to the left. Again, set as default for all documents. Okay, and the last change we're going to make is in page layout. The margins for all my default documents is set at 2 centimeters. Portrait, and for the whole document, set as default. Will affect all changes. Okay, and also you'll see on my blank header page, blank page are these two logos here. If you're not familiar with header and footer, double clicking at the top of the document opens it up, and you will see that these are just objects that I've pasted in here. While you've got that open, you can also change the footer if you want to. And you'll see down here I've just added a new footer, and the same formatting functions apply, so I'm just going to increase that in size of it. Okay, then you're going to save that. Now you would have seen on the document that we looked at before in the Keyers folder is this document here, which has these different links, hyperlinks and tables, and these text controls. To insert these or to work with these, you need to ensure that developer is activated and is on your ribbon. So I'm going to go back to the other document and look at how to put developer onto here. So you need to go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon. Make sure that developer is ticked as it is here. Okay. If you're not familiar with these controls, keep an eye down on the bottom of the screen here. You'll see what happens when I try and delete this text up here. Okay, down here it says this modification is not allowed because the selection is locked. So what I've done is I've created this worksheet. These are the questions that I've set for the kids to answer, and you've seen that they can't edit this text at all. So no matter what they do, they can't change the contents of that little control. They also can't delete the control itself. And now when I want them to write their answer, they can edit this, and they can remove it if they want to. But again, they can't delete the control itself. To do that, as I said, you need to ensure that developer is there. Now you'll see that I use tables a lot. Table helps me with formatting of the document, and it also ensures that everything is going to stay where I want it to stay. So we're going to go back to the other document. Excuse me. And I'm just going to press enter a couple of times to bring the cursor down. I start off by inserting a table, and I usually set up the first row. As default, whenever you create a table with X amount of columns, the columns are always going to be the same width. So in the first column I want the question number to appear, and I'm also going to move this over to the left here to give more space. Again, as a default, when I set up a table, I want that to be 0.7 centimeters. I want my text to be centered vertically, and I don't want any borders shown. No border. But what I do want is I want to drag this column to make this a bit narrower. So now I'm ready for my first question, but obviously I want to put have more than one question. So clicking out to the left of that, going to layout, and I'm going to insert some rows beneath, and you'll see it automatically inserts a number. So we have space for our first question. So coming out to developer, we're going to insert plain text control. Clicking here, I can start entering the information I want for the first question. So let's make a question: why are we here? Now in the previous document you would have seen that if I tried to delete this, it wouldn't work, but because I haven't made any changes to this, I'm able to delete this at will. But if I left it there and posted it for the kids to use, then they could delete it as well. So I'm going to lock this control by going up to properties, making sure it's all clicked in here. Go to properties, and we're going to lock the control so it can't be deleted, and I'm also going to lock the content so they can't be edited. So now when I click OK and I try and edit here, down the bottom of the screen you'll see that same message comes up. And also we can't delete this, the students can't delete this control at all, this question at all. So now we want space for them to answer the question, so we don't want the number 2 to appear. So click over here and press backspace. Tab, and then now we're going to insert another control box. And we want the students to be able to edit it, but we don't want them to be able to delete it. So content control can't be deleted. Okay. Okay, and enter. So that's pretty straightforward. That's how to set up the beginnings of a worksheet for your students. In this box here, you can, if you want to, you can insert objects, you can insert graphics, pictures, and again you can lock those so they can't be removed by the students. Okay, that's it for setting up a Word document using Developer.